Today I'm going to try to draw this park scene in Tbilisi, Georgia, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm on a journey to learn how to draw while I travel the world. I do all of my drawings from life, so the reference on the left is what I saw while sitting there to draw, which you can see me doing on the right. Everything is on location, and while that makes things a lot more difficult, both logistically and in terms of just the drawing, it's exactly what I want to be good at. So here I am. If that sounds interesting to you, obviously stay tuned. You clicked on the video for a reason anyway, but also subscribe to the channel. And if you find that you're liking it, leave a like. Anyway, thank you for the support. I hope you enjoy the video. If you are not new here, then you'll know that this is my third time drawing in Tbilisi. And can you even believe it? It's not a church. Today, we're in a park that I'm absolutely not going to pronounce. Sorry, I'll put it in the description. And this little combination of things happened to catch my eye. At first, though, it was actually the tree in the background, kind of on the left, that grabbed me. I really love how tall and straight its trunk is. And then the round bushiness on top is just, I don't know, it's so whimsical and interesting. I think the last tree I drew as a primary subject was in Tallinn, maybe. And it was that towering spruce tree in Giorgi Park, the one I actually feel like I drew pretty well. So I was looking for somewhere to get set up a la that one, but to include the entirety of the tree, or at least a sizable portion of it, I ended up so far away that so much else was in frame and it threw off the whole thing. So instead, I was trying to find a way to include just this bottom part that I found so interesting. And eventually I stumbled upon this little area. I liked how the bench sort of points into the rest of the frame like this. I thought that the street light would be a fun addition. And all in all, this comes across as more of a full scene than a single subject, which, as you well know, I much prefer. As you can see, rather than put all of my energy and attention into the one thing that caught my eye, I start with the bench in the foreground, and you can probably guess where this is going based on the title of this video. It's not titled "A Cool Looking Tree in a Park" for a reason. Maybe you're thinking, well, yeah, the bench is probably a smart place to start. It's right in front of you, it covers up a lot of the reference, etc., etc. No. I mean, yes, that's all true, and that's where my head was at, but it's going to be a while before I touch anything else. A significant portion of my time is about to go to this stupid bench. And it will certainly show. You'll see. Speaking of touching, check out this dog. He wouldn't leave me alone. I loved it. Drawing or not, video or not, nothing beats petting a dog. Georgia is actually pretty well known for its stray dogs that kind of just wander around everywhere, and they have a few systems in place in terms of accounting for them, but that little guy was on a leash, and I guess his owner really did not care what I was doing. Camera recording, whatever. I guess his dog calls the shots. So he sat with me for a while. I gave him some pats and some scratches, and then they were on their way. Absolutely riveting stuff. I'm sure if you are new here, you've instantly subscribed because, I mean, that's some realism right there. With all the dogs here, I'm sure there will be plenty more dog interruptions in my future. Dog-Eruptions? No, definitely not that. Never mind. Sorry. So back to the bench, because that's today's obsession, apparently. While it took up a disproportionate amount of time, I will say that I'm pleased with the way it's taking shape. I didn't overthink any of this, even if that is because I thought I'd quickly move on from it. And that probably helped. Had I decided beforehand that I was here to draw this bench, that the bench alone would be my reference, I feel like I would have been all up in my head about it, considering every little angle and whatnot. So I'm glad that didn't happen. And maybe that says something about all of my drawings. Maybe I need to think of each thing as minorly supplemental, and then I'll nonchalantly sketch it in rather than obsess over every last line. Maybe not though, because actually I'm still drawing the bench, so I don't know what to do about that. Maybe this was a stupid idea. Anyway, as I continue with this, I guess, I wanted to mention that I've been watching and or listening to a lot more drawing or drawing adjacent videos on YouTube. It's not something I've really prioritized throughout this process, although I have dabbled a bit watching videos of specific things when I can't figure something out. Stephen Travers comes to mind, as his videos were pretty insightful as I was getting into more architectural stuff, and Toby Sketchloose, whose videos helped me maybe first, especially his approach to line work. Just getting something on the page, giving it some life, not worrying too much about each line being perfect. Those two have helped me a lot, but it's honestly been a while since I've sat down and watched them or anyone else with regard to this drawing practice. That is until recently. For one reason or another, I found myself feeling more inspired lately, and that's pushed me to seek out more and more art related stuff. I think content, I suppose. I think motivation hasn't been an issue for me. I'm really enjoying this process of learning and would like to see it continue, which then begets like the endurance to keep doing it or whatever. But the inspiration part is lacking, and maybe always has been lacking, not just for this, but for pretty much everything I do. I think I've said it before, but I'm not usually one to seek out extrinsic stuff to inspire me, because I think once I feel inspired by some initial something, that kind of sticks with me throughout the process, at least for a while. So honestly, the initial inspiration for this was simply wanting to be good at the thing. And I'm sure there's some deeper inspiration, like the art of some person I saw one time, who knows. But for the most part, that little spark of just wanting to be good at it was enough to keep the fire going for a long time. And I'd say that's still true today, but for some reason, I'm all of a sudden hungry for, more. So I've just been seeking out not only YouTube videos of artists and their processes, but I've also been saving a lot more, just like mind-blowing artwork that's been reshared on Instagram, like from your classic painters and the like. I've also pinned a lot more contemporary drawings, paintings as well on Pinterest. And I've even started watching some videos by this channel I recently found called Infinite Surface, where the host flips through and discusses the history of these beautiful educational art books, which has been just amazing and inspiring in a way I haven't felt for a really long time. So suffice to say, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Very excited to be learning and growing. And while I hope this channel, catches on or whatever, I'm just so enthralled by the process that even if no one's listening, I'm having such an amazing time seeing myself improve and looking ahead specifically to what might one day be possible for me. That YouTube channel or not, this practice will go on, and I find that extremely exciting. Keep watching the videos too, though. That would be great. Okay, so things on the page are starting to look a little messy, and like maybe possibly I don't know what to do with the rest of this. It's about here when I'm really just cursing myself for having spent all the livelong day drawing a park bench, because the trees and stuff are starting to feel a lot more daunting than I was expecting. Also people, I want to include them, but holy cow, I'm really not good at it. If anything, that's what I should be looking up on YouTube. Maybe I will do that. I need to learn a trick or two with them, because if not, they're always going to look like these rigid stick figures that I draw. I don't draw them nearly enough to improve at the rate I would like to, so I'll have to finally just practice them at home. So keep an eye out. Maybe I'll make big strides in the coming weeks with regard to drawing people, or maybe I should just force myself to include them, somehow in all of my drawings. No, that would be awful. I'm definitely not going to do that. Fantastic. What do I think about this? I am not super impressed with the whole thing, but ironically, I'm pretty pleased with the casual approach I took to achieve the bench. Everything else is more like ghostly and fleeting. Like the bench is the only real thing, and it's just sat there dreaming about its surroundings or something. But yeah, what do you think? I would really love to know. So leave a comment, like the video, and make sure you subscribe. Anyway, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.